And you're on.
Buenos tardes, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Chill with Jim episode where it is always business up top and pajamas, pajamas on the bottom.
That's different pajamas.
Yeah, someone last week called me out for wearing the same pajamas all the time and made fun of me. So I switched up my
you're,
pajama
you're
bottoms.
you're not supposed to be able to smell things through Zoom like that. You know it.
David. You
Sorry.
see, everybody out there on Facebook now knows what, and our viewing world out there knows what I go through every day. It's rough here. Again, thank you everybody for joining. I'm your host, Jim McCarthy, and I am the client advocate for Strix, Louisiana. My job here is to make sure that our clients are set up with the best software, the best equipment, to make sure that their IT solutions are really the best that we can find out there right now and provide them with excellent customer support. So we want to make sure that all of our clients are running at optimal efficiency. We also have David DeArmond with us.
Hey everybody, I am David DeArmond, owner of Strix LA, and I'm here. I actually get to run a demo today. I'm so excited. I get to be a part of it, a part of the magic.
The demo man.
Yeah, it's usually how it works. Demolition.
Yeah. So we get to see you with a sledgehammer later. Is that?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll tear things up.
All right. Well, just a little bit about Strix. We believe that there's always a better, simpler, more secure way of doing just about everything you can ever think of in this world. So what that looks like to us is we are constantly adapting and evolving our IT solutions to make sure that the best solutions are in place and that our clients are receiving nothing but the best. We believe that part of this responsibility is to help educate our clients as well as others out there as to some of the resources that are currently out there. We like to bring awareness to a lot of the security risks that are going on right now or recently, and then just talk about IT trends in the world today. So today we're gonna do a live demonstration, which is great. We've done, I think, one of these before, but when we start to talk about programs and other processes that we use, sometimes it's just better to go ahead and show you instead of talking a lot about them. So that's what we'll be doing today. Today we'll be discussing two very powerful Microsoft products. One is Microsoft Forms, and the other one is Microsoft Power Automate. So I'll give you a brief description of each, couple examples, and then we'll let the demo man, David, take it from there. So Microsoft Forms. With Microsoft Forms, you can create surveys, documents, and quizzes that are electronically based. And what this allows you to do is give it clickable options. You can put a text box in there where people can type, or like a drop-down menu that make the form really simple to interact with. You can invite others to respond to it using just about any type of web browser or mobile device. Once they fill this out, you'll actually see real-time results as they are submitted. And this program comes with built-in analytics to help you just evaluate all of the responses. Forms also allows you to export the results into Excel so you can further analyze what came in and organize them as you please. To top it off, you can share your form and collaborate with others you'd like to share the form with. So it makes it great for a team to become interactive with. And it's really been a game changer for things like customer surveys, reviews, and other client-facing documents. It eliminates a lot of the back and forth that goes on with papers or emails. For us internally, Forms has been a great tool when we're working with our clients and they have to make a change in their workforce. So if they're adding a new employee, maybe they got a new contractor, or they're letting someone go, we send them this form. All they have to do is fill it out. We have all the questions we would normally ask on the form. A lot of them are just kind of multiple choice or clickable answers. And they send it back to us, and it helps us really uh, successfully and efficiently onboard or offboard this person. We include things like what type of equipment do they need, what department are they going to be in, when's their start or finish date, and what types of access or permissions do they need. And it really streamlines things. It also makes it much easier on our clients. One of our clients actually uses Microsoft Forms for their business because they're required to, for each employee to fill out a COVID health form every day. Bridget is on. She's actually, this is the company Bridget works for. So what they did, they ended up realizing that paper forms, they became very burdensome for the safety manager because he would have to kind of track everyone down, gather each of these forms, and then he'd have to organize, analyze, and file each one of these. So what they did is they used forms to make this process way more efficient. This allows all the employees to fill it out online on their computers. And when they submit these electronically, it goes straight to the safety manager.
It makes that
So
sound too.
yeah, actually every time you click it, goes just like that. So there's a couple examples in the workforce that we've used or seen forms used in a very productive way. The next program we'll talk about is Microsoft's Power Automate. Now this program is very similar to another popular program out there named Zapier. Well, all right, Jim, I don't know what Zapier is either. So why don't you just tell me what Power Automate does? Well, in a nutshell, Power Automate, its goal is to make your life easier by helping you automate any repetitive, low effort, but time consuming tasks. Power Automate helps you create automatic workflows between your favorite apps and services. You can do things like synchronize files, send automated reminders for past due tasks, move business data between systems on a schedule, collect data, and you can even automate tasks on your local computer like computing data in Excel. With Automate, you can actually easily create automatic processes that help your team out so your colleagues can share and access data across various web apps. For an example, you can use your SharePoint to connect with your Outlook. So every time your colleague would send you a file, when you open the email, it actually automatically saves that file to your SharePoint and just eliminating the clicks that you need to do, that you need to take to accomplish this task. It's a trigger-based tool that allows you to integrate workflows directly with different apps using what's called a connector. The connector makes it possible for you to connect things like maybe it's your MailChimp to your Outlook or your MailChimp to Slack or SharePoint. It's a good way of automating processes between all the software you have out there just to simplify your daily menial tasks. Just to highlight some of the integrations that Power Automate has, it can integrate with Outlook, Teams, Planner, and OneDrive. But it doesn't always have to be a Microsoft product. So you can integrate these with non-Microsoft products like Dropbox, MailChimp, Salesforce, and they actually have an integration with Facebook too. We haven't used that one yet, so I'm kind of curious about that one myself. So basically, Power Automate updates and installs or automatically runs a lot of the processes that you might have to do that take up a lot of your day. One thing, it's important to note that you should always make sure all of your updates in Power Automate are installed, and as soon as they come out, make sure to get those installed because they actually they do play a big part in the way that Power Automate is going to react. So there's a little bit about each, and I would like to give demo man David the reins from here.
All righty, thank you, Jim. So I am going to be showing you guys just really a simple form plus Power Automate and how to get that form to send an email. Okay, so submission of the form will go directly to email. This is a very basic workflow here, but it just shows you generally what the power is. So get it shared here. All right. So first things first, you have to get, of course, into Office 365. So both Forms and Power Automate, they come free with an Office 365 subscription. So the price is very good on that. And when you have your entire business set up with Office 365, it allows you to do a lot of this integration back and forth with each other, or collaboration, I guess would be a better word there. But all right, so first things first, you can go to portal.office.com or www.office.com, and that will load the basic Office 365 portal. And down at the bottom, you see a bunch of apps over here. You can open up Outlook, Word, the apps that you're probably used to. Down at the bottom, they have some of the less used, perhaps, apps. And so when you click here, this shows you really more of what's in Office 365. I do encourage anyone that has an Office 365 subscription to go in and take a look at this. We find that many people don't know all of the applications that are available to them. So when you're looking through here, you see Power Automate here, and here's Forms. And what I'm going to do is just open these up in a couple of tabs because we're going to be working within both of them. All right, so we're going to go first to Microsoft Forms. We have some forms that we've already created. We had a little fun one day. You can integrate a form with Teams as well, and we did a poll. I don't even remember what the poll question was, but for some reason we had people that were having a difficult time filling it out. So then we created a poll about, do you find voting in a poll hard? But so you can play with this too. You don't have to do all business, but anyway, so we're going to click on a new form up here, and of course go through authentication. And it's really fairly simple to set up a form. We're just going to say chill with Jim demo, and we won't worry about a description right now. We'll click here, and so what you see now is on the form you can add different types of fields. You can add a choice, a text, rating, date, rankings. We're just going to add a couple of them here. We're going to add a text, and let's see, the question is, what is your favorite color, for instance? All right. Now you can say that this is a required question or not required. You can also do long answer, which if you have a question that really the answer is going to be pretty long and you want the user to be able to see multiple lines, then you would select long answer. But we'll leave this short. We'll add a new field here. We're going to add a choice. And for this, it's going to be another question. Let's say, do you like pickles? Why not? Now, what's kind of cool
Those are
here,
hard questions.
they are, we probably need to give everybody at least 10 minutes to study up on these.
Okay. And please, everybody, take notes because there will be a test at the end of this.
Yep. It will give you suggested options. So you can say yes, and you see it fills it in for you. No, you can click on those. You could do maybe, but I want to add my own personal, I'm going to add an option, and we'll say only when I'm pregnant. All right, so those are the options that you can choose there. All right, so hey, we've got a good form here. This looks pretty nice. If we go back to our forms, we see, okay, well, now we have the Chill with Jim demo form. All right, so we're going to stop there for now. And we're going to go to Power Automate. And we're going to show you from Power Automate how you can take this form that we just created and send out an email when someone responds to that form. All right, so Power Automate, this is an extremely powerful tool. Used to be called Microsoft Flow. So if you've heard of that before, you may be wondering what we're talking about here. I've heard of Flow, but what's this Power Automate? Microsoft, like they like to do, they renamed it. So now it's Power Automate. There are a ton of templates that Microsoft has already built. And if you go through here, you can see the templates that they have already. We're going to do a quick search. We're just going to type in forms. So we're looking for templates that use forms. All right. And again, I mean, you can look through. I've used these templates actually for ideas. Oh, well, that is cool. We could do that if you want your form to go directly into OneNote, you could do that. Just you could have it add something to your to-do list. There's just so many things that you can do. But today we're going to keep it fairly simple, and we're going to send an email to responder when response is submitted in Microsoft Forms. Now this is interesting. So we'll come in. It tells you a little bit about what this template's going to do. It's going to take Microsoft Forms. It's going to grab the form information and it's going to send it to Office 365 Outlook. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to click continue. All right, and so now it is generating our form for us. This is something new. Well, we'll get there in a second, but first we'll pick the form. So we do a drop down, chill with Jim demo. All right, good. That's the form ID. Now, the next step here is get the response detail. So when someone submits the form first, we want to get the response, and we're going to come in here. We'll again select chill with Jim demo. That's our form ID, and it's defaulted the response ID for us. That's all we need at this point. This is fairly new, and it surprised me when I did this yesterday. Microsoft Power Automate has seen that we've created a form here that has a yes/no answer, and so it's actually giving you a condition as the next step, and you can look at the response. If it's a yes, then go over here and do this, and if it's a no, go over here and do this. So that gives you you can take this in different directions. That gives you an idea of what you can do. All right, we're not going to do any of that today, so we're just going to delete this condition. All right, and so now we have the form, we have the responses. We're going to say new step, and what we want to do is Office 365. And now it gives you the list of things that you can do in Office 365. Create a contact, create an event, a whole bunch, long list of things that you can do. We just want to send an email. So that's what we click. Now here, you can specify, well, where do you want the emails to go? You can perhaps just send it to yourself if that's what you're looking for. We're actually going to set this up today. So we'll put ddorman@strixla.com, and as you can see, you can actually add multiple people. We'll add Jim McCarthy. We're going to add Lori. She's here today. We're going to add Virginia. She's here today. We've got Bridget. So you see that we can add people. Carlene and Todd. I'm glad we didn't get the normal 150 people on this chill with Jim, or this would have taken a very long time. All right, so now we're going to send the email response here to all of these people. So now what is the email going to say? Well, we can come in here and you see that Microsoft here, Power Automate, it pops up for you dynamic content. So what this means is you can pick the information that's coming from the form. And what we're going to say is the chill with Jim form was submitted. All right. And we're going to give the time. So the Chill with Jim form was submitted at, and we're going to click submission time. All right. So now we have that information in the body. We're going to say a Chill with Jim form was submitted. This user's favorite color is, and we can pick what is your favorite color. And then we can say, do they like pickles? And then we'll put that answer in there as well. All right, so now we've created this email that is going to respond. Now you can grab the responder's email as well. We're not gonna do that here. We're not necessarily grabbing everyone's email. And the way we're gonna set this form up is that it's public. So if it's a private, and when I say private, I mean within the organization, if it's a private form, then it can grab the form knows the responder's email. In this case, we don't necessarily have it. So we're gonna click save. All right, so this is now set up. All right, so we have Chill with Jim. Come back in if you need to edit it, you can click edit. You see here are all the steps, same thing that we just set up here. All right, so we've got the basic structure now set up. We're going to go back to the form, and what we're going to do, we're going to share this form. Okay, so what this does is it makes it available to other people. Now we can do only people in my organization can respond, but we're going to change that setting. And we're going to say anyone with the link can respond. All right, so this opens it up to a public form. We're going to copy this. And now I am going to come over here in the chat, and I'm going to post it here to everybody. So this form is now public. I invite everybody, go ahead, click on it. You'll see the form pop up. I'm going to bring up another tab here. We'll click, you'll see the form. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. Okay, well, my favorite color, that is purple. Do I like pickles? Yes, and even when I'm not pregnant, I do like pickles. So I'll select that, and I'm going to submit this. Now, what you should find, as long as I did this correctly, is everyone is going to start getting emails from the responses on this. All right.
Nice.
So
I got it.
That is, in a nutshell, I don't know, we took 5-6 minutes here and set up a form from scratch. We made it public. We put it out there so that everyone can get a response, or those people that you want can get a response and get notification for someone submitting the form. You can, like I said, you can do so many things with Power Automate. If we take a look at forms here, again, the templates that are available, send form responses for approval. So you can do this internally and have, you can have form responses actually go to someone else within your organization where they have to approve the request. Let's say you want someone to have sick leave or personal time off. You could create a form, and it has to be approved before it can go further. There's functionality to do that. Tracking it in Excel online, like Jim mentioned, you can have all of the responses go into Excel, which is really nice because it will keep track of all of the responses basically live. You don't have to go in and necessarily refresh it the next time you open it. It's going to have all of the responses. If you use Teams, and we use some Power Automate workflows here to do things within Teams. So if you use that pretty often, then you can do that. So Yeah, I see a whole lot of answers coming in here. Let's see,
So you want to
somebody's favorite.
play a little game, a guessing game?
Whose was it?
Who's
Favorite color?
yeah, who's got
Fa-
chartreuse and they like pickles? Who do you think
short
that is?
chartreuse and likes pickles. Chartreuse. Wow, we have fuchsia, chartreuse. Dang. Chartreuse. Lori, is chartreuse yours? Or is it fuchsia? You kind of have fuchsia shirt. Are you fuchsia? Dang, dang.
S-
Oh well.
I think fuchsia has. I thought
Oh, it's just plain pink.
Just pink.
Yes.
We don't have to get into the shades of pink here.
I.
Just any color pink.
All right. All
And
right.
I like pickles too, even when I'm not pregnant.
Nice.
Uh,
I was fuchsia. I just did it because it's an uncommon color name. It does say after that it should say this is Jim, by the way, and I do like pickles when I'm pregnant. So
yeah,
uh,
and you can go into the form. You can add new things. If you wanted to add, I don't know, a rating. Um, how cool is this form? And you can do 5 stars. You can go higher. You can go up to 10, 9, 10. You can do numbers. So if you want to do some sort of satisfaction, uh, you can do that as well. So you see now we have the questions. Also on the form, we have responses. You see everyone's responses. And this is where it gets into the analytics a little bit. Um, so you can see, well, how many people like pickles? 6 out of 7 people that filled out this form like pickles. One of them likes it only when they're pregnant. So you can start getting some information here. Again, you can view this in Excel. If you open here in Excel, and you guys won't be able to see this because I'm not sharing that part of my screen, but it will list out all of the responses there. I wish it gave me the option to open here in Excel online, but not giving me that option. And so now we actually could go back to the flows, and because we updated our form, we come in here and edit, send the email, and you can see how cool is this form. You can add that answer. So keeps it all up to date, makes it very simple. Again, like Jim said, we like to do things the better, simpler way, and we find forms with Power Automate to be one of those things that you can simplify your workflows. You can automate it. The automation makes it better, it makes it simpler, and really once you get used to working in here, it, it it becomes a simple platform to use. So
nice.
that
Yeah.
is. Go ahead.
Bridget wrote a little note here, just saying that their COVID health forms that I talked about earlier, they have it set up so it goes straight into the Excel spreadsheet, and it saves them a bunch of time with data entry.
Yeah, those timestamps are important for that sort of thing. When if they get audited for safety, um, they need to prove, okay, this person said on this date that they're COVID free, or whatever's on the form there. So it gives you all of that information, and you don't have to go through and manually enter that, which is going to end up with user error. A high percentage of the time, it's there for you and you can use it. And then once it's in Excel, I mean, we're talking about two pieces of Office 365 here. Within Excel, you can start adding things like Power BI, and those sorts of other applications that are available. Um, I, I mean, Jim, you kind of talked a little bit about Power Automate, but maybe it's good also to see here. If you go to the home of Power Automate, you can see all 386 applications that Power Automate has built-in integrations with. So some of these you may use. You know, a lot of the Office 365 platforms, Microsoft To Do, if you use that. There's Instagram. Jim mentioned Facebook, and we actually did use Facebook previously. Facebook changed their connector, so that broke a little while, and we weren't using that integration a whole lot, but we had Facebook reporting back to our teams, and we used that with Power Automate. If someone posted on our Facebook page, it would show up in Teams, and so that let us know very quickly, let the entire team know, okay, hey, somebody's posting on Facebook, let's get out there and respond to them and see what kind of interaction we can have with them. There's Box. Jim mentioned Dropbox. That's somewhere in here. So if we haven't passed it up already.
Well,
so
David, you can share your screen. I tried to share mine, show all those connectors. Just
I quit sharing my screen. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll share the entire screen this time, but
tons of them. They're just never ending. It seems.
Did I share the right one there?
You guys yep, you're good.
Yep. So there's one for YouTube, and I share the entire screen. So now you guys can see. Here's the Excel spreadsheet with all of the answers, and you see it. There's a column for email, but we're not really requiring that. So it is anonymous. I've used this same setup for anonymous voting for our BNI group because we're not able to meet in person. We were electing new leadership for our BNI group, so I created a form with the membership slate and let everybody vote anonymously using that, and now we have a documented spreadsheet of that vote. So lots of good stuff here. You'll see some of these are premium, so that may require a bigger version of Office 365. But that is, again, 387 of them right now. They add more all the time. You can do a whole lot with Power. It is a very powerful tool. So nice. We've talked a little bit already, I know, about Bridget and their use of it. We certainly invite anyone else that either has ideas on how they could use it, or if they're using it now and what their impression is. We welcome to join on in.
Thinking about the different uses, these are just really, if you have, like when we're, okay, someone wants to join a voice over IP service and they need help from us to find the right one. This is where those forms come in big handy. So we can have all the questions we're going to ask them. Do you want phone call recordability? Yes, no. What is how many users are you going to have on the phone system? And just lay out this paper. So when we send it over, it's just a simple, they fill it out, very easy to interact with. You see, how easy it is with the emails we sent you. Click, send, and it just saves so much back and forth. We noticed with emails, if let's say David, me, and our client, we're all talking through emails. Well, if I accidentally only respond to the client, now David's out of the loop. So then he might come back to me and say, hey, Jim, did you get an answer on that? And then I have to have a separate email conversation with David while I'm still emailing the client. And then I might have to bring him back in. Well, hey, you guys, here's what I talked to both of you about. Bring them back in. And it's just so nice to have everything kind of go in the same spot. We're all on the same page. The automation sets it up so you don't have to give everyone access. You can give only those that really need the information access. Just save a lot of time sorting through all those emails.
Yeah, we've got a couple of travel agents here on the call today, and if you have Office 365, that's something when you want to first get information from, say, a new client or an existing client that is, let's say they're interested in going to Disney World, as we see Epcot there behind Virginia. Maybe you have a form that you create that gives you all the information that you need to give someone a great experience for Disney World. And so you send that form out and they can fill it out. It looks professional. Candace isn't on the call today. She's kind of our internal guru on this, and she makes them look pretty. And you know, there are many more options that you can do with forms to make them look good as well. They're not just a bland form, but you can go out and get that information, and it's standard. It helps you gather the same information every time. It makes you look very professional, and then you have a record of their responses, and it gives you a place to start. You know, Todd, you guys work with all of the companies there in the tech park. When you need information from them, you could create a form like this. You guys have Office 365. You could create a form like this and send it out to all of the companies there at the tech park, and gather whatever information that you need from them. So that's just a couple from the folks that I see here online. Bridget, you guys are already doing it. Lori, do you guys have Office 365 available to you? I could see where Hancock could use it all over the place, but
We don't, but this seems amazing. I would love for us to have something like this. And I'd love to where you said how, because sometimes I may email a client, another banker, and one may not respond to all. And I love that scenario you just said. That would be amazing. I really like that.
yeah, it seems like that scenario always goes wrong, right? So
Right.
if everybody needs to know about it, the person seems to only reply to one person. But if it's this big blast email where nobody needs to hear the response, they always hit
They
reply
reply to
all.
all. Yeah, nobody seems to understand that etiquette when you use that and when you don't.
Yes.
But this was great information. Thank y'all so much for sharing, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's like David touched on it, but you can add, you could have a Hancock Whitney logo on each section. It's really, Forms allows you to even do pictures. It allows you to do videos. So, I could think of it where, like in the tech world where, even if we maybe automate a, like, okay, my printer's not working, a form on printer's not working, and do you see this picture or this picture on your screen? And they click a button, and then the next screen is, well, here's a video of, is it doing this or is it doing this? They click on which video that's doing, and then maybe a short video on, well, this is maybe a quick fix for you while while we just got the ticket, try this, see if it works. And now they'll always have that as a resource as well. So just there's all these ideas that you can come up with to really to make your time spent more valuable. Because like Lori, we want you doing big picture stuff. Being the VP over there, we want you doing big picture stuff. So if it's like, oh well, got this new client who wants to sign up for a credit card. Instead of hand filling out the phone or the form on the phone with them, send them this form. Maybe it just touches on the basics, comes right back to you, and you're able to document that and then go further with it. And that's really where we think about a lot of the time-saving efforts going towards. We want to keep people in their wheelhouse. So, Virginia, we need you booking trips and making sure everybody's happy with their trips. And so maybe things like the initial contact form would be sent out where you're not on the phone, do you have any, I don't know if this is a question, but are you allergic to any medicines? Like things like this, or, and so that's where your brain can create a lot of these forms, a lot of these flows between what you guys do on a daily basis.
Yeah, Jim, just looking through here, we just started using Adobe Sign. We were using a different product before then, but now we're using Adobe Sign, and I see that Power Automate does integrate with Adobe Sign. So that's another one. You could create a template in Adobe Sign and put a button or a link or something on your website that if someone wants to buy now, let's say, or whatever it is, you can have them fill out the information on the website. They click the button and it automates an agreement to them. That's electronic signature. Um, Take all of that back and forth time out of it. So that's I'm gonna have to look into that one some more.
we have a great question, and we love to get people involved. So Virginia, would you mind coming on and asking the question out loud?
Yeah, I was wondering if the results are encrypted, and can you get into any privacy issues with this?
Yeah, a lot of that is there's multiple layers to that answer. So number one, let me share my screen again, and I'll show you what you see on. All right, let me click actually share. So what you see on the screen here. Let's see if I still have it saved. No, that's the whole thing. I'm going to go grab this this link again. And well, you can see it here. It's HTTPS. Okay. So what that means is this form and the traffic going back and forth with it, it is encrypted. That means it's using the secure socket layer. So that information is encrypted. The form is encrypted. The traffic is encrypted. Now it's going to Office 365. And yes, most of the information in Office 365 is encrypted. Now, where you can get in trouble and where that's a great question, and you always need to be thinking about your security is what are you connecting to? So Adobe Sign, yes, that is encrypted, but some of these other applications maybe aren't. And let's say you drop that information into OneDrive or Dropbox. While the information is encrypted, have you opened that up to public viewing? Because if you have, then you may be putting information out there. That it's one of the big ways right now that data is being exposed for companies is a company puts information into a place, Amazon Web Services or Dropbox or OneDrive, and they put it in a place that it feels like it's secure. You have to log on to those, but they've opened up that folder. They've opened up that Dropbox folder or that OneDrive folder. They've opened it up public. And so now they're exposing all of this information. There has been a ton of information that has been exposed that way. People just not correctly monitoring where they're putting the data. So most of the data in transit is encrypted, but you still have to be careful about where you're putting the data because that may not be encrypted.
Good answer. Loaded answer, but a good answer.
Seems to be technology. There's generally no straightforward answer.
The Excel, like that would be like if you drop it into Excel and maybe the Excel file that you have is shared throughout the organization. So that would be another example where you're like, you really got to kind of check your permissions and things like that. So Virginia asks, is it secure enough for credit card information?
I was wondering if that was going to be the next question. How many times have we had that discussion? I personally would not do that. Okay, and the reason is if you are storing credit card information, that is another level of security that you have to have in place. You have to have it gets down a bunch of rabbit holes, but there's something called PCI compliance, and that generally talks about transactions, but as someone who collects credit card information, you have to protect that information. It is your obligation to protect that information. It's also very, very picky on how you use that information. So is it secure enough for credit card info? Again, if you are storing the information and locking down your entire systems in such a way that meets PCI compliance, and meets data privacy compliance, that could depend on what state you're in, then it could be. Would I do it? Absolutely not. It's far too easy to make a mistake, to me, to be grabbing credit card information. You're not processing a transaction, which is a lot of what the PCI compliance is. So as long as, if someone puts their credit card information in there, be sure you have a box that gives you authorization to use that information. And again, you're going to want that answer. And maybe you're walking a line there, and I don't really like walking those kinds of lines. So that's my long answer to a short question.
Johnny Cash likes to walk the line.
Because you're mine.
Any other questions out there from the people on the call, or maybe a couple ideas of how you could use it in your organization? We love the engagement and the feedback.
You did good.
I waited my full 8 seconds.
You did good. I'm impressed.
It's
You're
hard.
getting better. Every week you get better.
Yes, I'm supposed to allow like a 5 to 8 second pause for people to be like, oh yeah, I do have a question. And it's so hard for me to just let the awkward silence sit, but I'm getting better. Well, awesome. I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways we could all take this. What I'd suggest is we will email you a link once we post this on our YouTube channel. So since we did go over it kind of quick, you can always use this as a reference to go back and see how to set up the form, go over what was discussed. It is pretty intuitive, which we love about both of these programs. At the same time, it'll be a good reference for anyone who needs to go back and say like, well, just how did they make it say the answer in my email or things like that. With that email, you'll have our email address. Any questions, please always reach out. We love being a solutions provider and helping out where we can because we know in the world of technology, it can get confusing sometimes. So let's see here. We do have a question that just came up.
Yeah, Todd, if you want to jump in there, feel free. He may be in a place where he's not able to turn it on, so we'll ask for him. Is there any of this available without logging on to the online version of Microsoft 365? I see forms as an option to add to channels on Teams. My quick understanding of that, I have used forms to create polls directly in Teams. Now that doesn't help you with the automation part of it. There is forms built directly into Teams, so you can create a form within a team, but it's not necessarily going to get you to the point where you're automating it. So that may be something that you create the form within Teams, and then you go into Power Automate, and then you do your automation after that. But that is kind of halfway there.
Great question. Bridget said that. So Barrett is actually the one who created the form for the COVID form we talked about. And just he talks about how excited he is to try the automation next time. And it's you saw all those templates. I mean, there's a billion ways to do things that through a billion different programs. I mean, it's kind of endless. So have fun getting lost in that rabbit hole. And this has just really been a great Chill with Jim episode because it opens up a lot of the door, like it expands, it got me thinking about the different ways in which we can use it internally, externally, things like that.
Yeah, I like the idea about, well, hey, I'm having a problem with my printer, and if it's something that we know happens fairly often, but we don't know what the problem may be, then we could create an auto response, or even put something in our tool that gives someone the ability to click a link and go fill out the form. And okay, well, I see this message, and now I can handle most of the problem myself, or see if it's something I can handle myself and get it taken care of immediately, or do I need to wait the 5 or 10 minutes that it takes Strix to call me back?
That one came up on the moment, man. I said that, it just came into me that exact moment. But yeah, that'd be great. We don't want to, put the burden on the user, but we promise a 30-minute window. We'll get back to them. Usually we're at 5 or 10 minutes. We actually track that, our response time. But yeah, that'd be one if they're like, oh, it's probably gonna take 5 or 10 minutes for them to get back to me. Let me just click on these few things, take some 20 or 30 seconds, and they might find the solution themselves. So it's great information. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I think we had 3,725 Facebook watchers today.
Yeah, a little down from last week. We'll look into that.
We'll automate that so we have a ticker as we're doing the call. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone coming out and participating. David, can you go ahead and give us a sneak peek at what's coming next week?
Yeah, I'm going to post the registration here in the chat, so that is available to you. What we're going to be talking about next week is why cyber criminals are targeting your website. And we hope to have a little bit of a demo from one of our friends over on the West Coast, who is very, very good with cybersecurity. We'll at least be able to show the video of his demo. He's also going to try to come on live and show us what the hacker sees after they've hacked your website, and why they may be doing that. So a lot of people forget about their website. They think, oh, I've put it up on Square or WordPress or whatever, and it's just an informational website. It's not important to our business operation, so I'm just going to put it out there. It's being targeted. I see them multiple times a day.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, so internal, Candace she homeschools right now, and wrote a chat the other day and was like, well, hey, I just got a message saying it's firing off an alarm, beep beep, your Microsoft account has been hacked, you need to do this and this and call this number, and it wouldn't go away. And so I hopped in to see what was going on, and this is literally what happened. One of the teaching sites about Native American dolls and how they used to make their dolls, you click on the link and it pops up to this malicious message that is really hard to turn off your computer. It's one of those ones that tricks people into calling this number. And so it's because their website doesn't have all the security they need. The company who's doing it probably has no idea that they're affecting everybody who logs on and clicks this link. But that literally happened, I think it was yesterday. So
yeah, that was yesterday.
Good example of it there. And so join us next week. It's going to be, just reading a comment here. Oh, wow. Yeah, Virginia said that her husband had that happen this week when he was trying to access Home Depot's website. David, get Home Depot on the line. We can help him out.
We can handle their stuff, no problem.
I think there's like 2 locations. That's it. So we're good to go. So yeah, great point. Thank you for sharing that. Learn more about it next week. We'll have a special guest on to kind of give us a little rundown, hopefully a live demo. It's always the same chill time, same chill network, and join us next week. We hope to see you there. And again, thank you for coming out and supporting us. Adios.